This is Dabu 7, February 21st, 2014, and we have a sinkhole epidemic going on across the globe, at least in the United States and the UK as of right this moment. I know Canada's seeing them, Brazil, other places. It's worldwide. Well, check this out. I've already put out 2 videos today on sinkholes. I'm going to count the last video where all the graves are sinking as one sinkhole. Now, with that one added, there have been 15 reported sinkholes in the past 24 hours between the United States and the UK alone. Somebody tell me what's going on here. I know people are saying HARP or CERN, other stuff out here. I mean, look at this. Car crashes into a sinkhole here. Another one in Nashville. This one almost swallows a, that you just seen swallows a, it did swallow a swing set in the backyard. Another woman drives into another sinkhole, as you see here. Another one forming, threatening to swallow a house. And folks, some 10, 11 other links here across the globe. The UK, Oregon, Chicago, Lake Erie, all across the place. Orlando, all these places seeing sinkholes. 15 sinkholes in the past 24 hours. That's just, wow. Instead of doing a video on every sinkhole, I had to put this one out there and let you guys know this is an epidemic for real. They're popping up everywhere, and they're getting hard to keep up with. I'm going to leave a link so you guys can keep track of these 15 new ones just today. Y'all stay safe. This has been Dabu 7. Eyes open. So fast, they're hard to keep up with here. This time, the UK is seeing a phenomenon take place in a graveyard where the graves are sinking. They are saying that they are backfilling these graves, that, you know, when you get hard rain, sometimes this happens. They will sink a couple inches because of the loose soil. But those that have been there for years, that have already been backfilled and have already been compacted, shouldn't do this. Now, they are seeing this on a tremendous scale. Some of the graves in the back are a lot deeper, and they're backfilling some of these holes 2 or 3 times, and it's still not keeping everything even and flush.
2/21/2014. Guys, I want to talk about something going on out in New Mexico. I was just through this area, and I was just north of this plant as I came out of the White Sands area into Roswell, New Mexico, through the mountains. But the WIP plant there that's east of Carlsbad, it says, they're saying the plutonium has been released at the U.S. nuclear facility. We don't know what happened, don't know whether it could happen again. The big problem is how much is continuing to be released. The officials are saying they know very little about the extent of the problem or how to solve it. Now, Russell Hardy, who's the director of the Carlsbad Environmental Monitoring and Research Center, said Wednesday a monitor near the Waste Isolation Pilot Plant, they call it WIP, in southeastern New Mexico, has detected trace amounts of the radioactive isotopes americium and plutonium. He says the levels are the highest ever detected at or around the site. Another report, it says it's still below what the EPA considers actionable levels, but it's important to know that some material did get out of the facility. That flare created coronal mass ejection. That's what you're seeing. The CME is that surface of the sun that's being blown apart and blown outward. That's the second event. That's the beginning of the third event. Check that out. What a picture. This SDO camera is very good at this information. Now, it's a close-up of the sun. It doesn't catch your outer edges out into space like our SETI A and SETI B, things like that do. Or the LASCO C3 is a good camera for the wide views. But again, this one gives us the details so that we know what's coming. This is the important one. Now, I've looked at the flare tracker, looked at the universal time, and it should arrive between 9:30 and 10 tonight, East Coast time. Now, we've got a lot of pressure on Earth, and we have had all week, guys. So it's not going to take much. We've had Atlantic Ridge quakes. We've had quakes in the UK. Now, we've had one in Japan late this afternoon. So we're watching it again. These are SDO images that are facing. It appears that we had the break, and that's what we were hoping for between those flares, but the filaments that you see there took care of that break. Didn't exist. Look at these, different filters and camera are facing.
ENENEWS, Energy News, TV. Radioactive waste containers may be smashed and opened after roof collapse at U.S. nuclear site. Official. We believe there's been a breach. It's a very serious thing. Seismic event mentioned. High levels of alpha and beta radiation detected. Wow. That's in New Mexico. By Carlsbad. Alrighty then. If you're in that area, I'd get out of that area. Alright, let's go back. Also, expected to be beneficial. Effects of this radiation exposure expected to be beneficial to who? U.S. government funded study. West Coast and Hawaii residents are Fukushima downwinders. Effects of this radiation exposure expected to be beneficial. Well, West Coast and Hawaii residents, I guess that you are now lab rats. Testing will never stop, but will they tell you what the results are? Government. There's no reason to believe radioactive plume coming to West Coast. Unbelievable. Alrighty then. NHK, failure at Fukushima. Gunderson, extraordinary radioactive leak will be in Pacific shortly. Site is going to bleed into ocean for 100 years. TV. It's a record high leak at Fukushima. Extraordinary radioactive, almost 8 million times limit. Even more toxic since it was from earlier in disaster. Alarm went off 9 hours before, but disregarded. Now checking for other leaks. News came as a shock. Is it really a shock? 8 million times limit? You gotta be kidding me. Alright. This is so terrible. Let's not look at it anymore.